But again, I am Stephanie. I am also joined by Pam.
Hi, everybody.
Pam's the president of MedSpa Distributors. And again, Jarratt Haviland here, joining us from Ke Kō Botanicals to give us an intro to sugaring. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Jarratt.
Yeah. Hey guys, I see a few names in here that I know. I'm excited to see y'all and excited to introduce y'all to sugaring. I want to thank MedSpa so much for asking us to do this. And I have loved our experience with them. I know a few of y'all were at esthetician, et cetera, and we got to meet you guys in person. So thanks for coming back again. And I think if it's okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen and we'll get started.
Yeah, perfect.
And
Yeah.
y'all feel free to ask all the questions, throw them in there. Um, I love being able to talk to people and answer what you want answered. Like it doesn't do any of us any good for me to just talk at you. So let's have a conversation and make sure you're getting out of this what you came for. So we are Ke Kō Botanicals. If you've known us for a little while, you know this is new branding for us, and we're real excited about that, kind of embracing that botanical feel. Um, let's hope. Stephanie, do you see that correctly?
Yeah, everything's showing up great.
See if it wants to.
It's so beautiful the way
Mhm.
I love it.
Thank you. Um, yeah, just a little bit about us. My husband Mike and I are the owners here at Ke Kō. We acquired this company a little over 3 years ago, and you can see some photos of us here. We do all the shows together, and big family people. Those are our 6 kids on the right side. They range from 16 to 8 months. Um, Mike absolutely got into this by accident, maybe by force. I needed a partner, and I married a really hairy one, so it worked out pretty serendipitously. But I got into the world of aesthetics, I guess, close to about 12 years ago, kind of by accident. I was a cosmetologist, doing hair, doing blowouts and spray tans and that kind of thing and love to get waxed, but I am horribly reactive, just full body histamine reaction, pustules, and all those things. Just it wasn't a good situation. So I was working at a blowout bar and saw a spa across the street that was offering sugaring, and I'd kind of heard about it being friendlier to sensitive skin and that kind of thing. And so I was getting my hair colored by a coworker, like a massive head full of red hair foils because that's what we cosmetologists do. Go for wild colors. And I saw the lady come out of her little salon suite and I was like, hey, do you have time for a Brazilian? She was like, sure. And so we literally put trash bags down her treatment table and she did my Brazilian. And when I tell you that I went from just like all over histamine reaction, massive hives and pustules all over the place, to like 2 or 3, something completely manageable. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sold. And from then on, I had gone back to Louisiana. This was in California. I'd gone back to Louisiana to visit my parents, and I met my now husband. So I stuck around in Louisiana and I ended up calling the girl that sugared me because I could find nowhere here. And I was like, where did you learn how to do that? She connected me with somebody and I ended up going and getting certified and bring it back to Louisiana. We were the very first sugaring salon in Louisiana. We've now been in business over 10 years and have, a 20K plus following. And we do primarily sugaring and custom airbrush tans. So it all just kind of came together for me. It was an accident that I stumbled into it, and then I ended up absolutely loving it. I became an educator shortly after because there was nobody here doing it, so somebody else had to teach other people, and became the director of education at Ke Kō in late 2019, early 2020. And after that, Karin, my friend who both educated and certified me to educate, was kind of ready to jump ship on owning Ke Kō and running it. So Mike and I pulled up and we said, we'll give it a shot. We'll carry it forward because to be honest, when I we were originally with one of the major brands out of Canada, both educating for that brand. And she left kind of guns blazing because of some quality control and customer service issues. And I couldn't go. I'm a little bit of a loyalist. And I was like, I can't just run out like, middle fingers at them and see you later. So I waited about a year and she sent me some of her paste. She was like, why are you still doing this? Like with this crappy paste that you keep having to call them and be like, this is no good. And so I finally tried her paste. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't need to tell anybody. Like a client doesn't know about our back bar, I don't think. And a bunch of my clients during their Brazilians were like, what are you doing differently? This is so much less painful. So I was sold even more then on the brand. And then, later became their director of education thing. So we took it over because we believed in the product, and just kind of the mission of providing education and superior product in the industry. So it's now been 3.5 years, and we just got back from Philly last night from the Philly trade show. We run those circuits every year and have a great time doing it. Love getting to meet y'all and everything. So that is a little about us. That middle picture is in Japan. We got to go educate in Japan a few years ago, which was really cool. Just little Vegas, Miami, Philly, Dallas, all those up in there. That top right is my husband cooking crawfish because he's a Cajun. And if you're ever in Louisiana, come find us because he'll cook. And it's good. So why sugaring? And I think probably answered a little bit of that for you, but just in general, it's less painful. We heard just a crazy amount of times this weekend. Y'all, I don't know who's in the Northeast that has been sugaring people, but they are doing people so wrong. And I had to bust myth after myth after myth this weekend. There were people like, oh, it came up to our booth and said, I know this is so painful. This is the worst. And I had to educate them, like it's not. It's actually much less painful than waxing when it's done correctly. It is excruciating done poorly. And that's just God's honest truth. But when it's done correctly, it is much less painful. You're not removing any live skin cells. You're not disrupting the skin barrier. So it's just so much gentler. It's also more effective. We talk all the time about we mold the sugar against the hair growth and then we remove it with. And if you were to liken it to gardening, you'd never like walk up to a sunflower, something with a big, thick base to it, and pull it out by the petal and pull it out opposite of the direction it grows. Like in your mind, you'd never be like, this will be an effective way to remove this, right? Like that seems counterintuitive to what you're trying to do. So we mold against the growth, we get as close to the base of the hair as possible, and then we remove it with the growth. So we reduce breakage, we reduce irritation, and it improves the outcome for the client, especially when you get somebody like me who's super reactive and tends to have skin troubles. There's fewer contraindications. We can cover more clientele with sugaring, whether it's somebody who's particularly reactive or somebody who's in a current disease process or skin condition. Diabetics, varicose veins, and all of these things obviously contain asterisks. You want to make sure you want to look at skin integrity and barrier health and all those things in the process. But generally speaking, there are fewer contraindications associated with sugaring than there are with waxing or shaving even. It's also eco-friendly. It's just sugar, water, and lemon melted down into a paste. And our paste, which we make in-house, is truly just sugar, water, and lemon. There are other companies that add gums and other additives to them. We do not. We are truly just sugar, water, and lemon. So when you're using a biodegradable glove, like you can see here in this photo, that green glove is biodegradable. You can literally just ball it up and it will completely dissolve and disintegrate over time. So that's great for all of our friends who operate eco-friendly spas. It's just an awesome additive to your menu. You also don't need sticks or strips or table paper or anything like that. So you don't have those one-time use products that contribute to waste. It's also extremely economical. So a jar runs about $26.99 and a one jar can cover about 25 Brazilians. So you're just over $1 a service. And again, no sticks or strips or table paper. So you're not spending that money on all the accessories. If you have your gloves, you have your paste, and your back bar, like you're good to go. So extremely economical. And right now, I think a lot of people are looking for economical options. So it's It's a good one. And I always like to mention just education. Um, yes, sugaring is a learning curve. There is education involved, and I would argue required. Um, but having a higher level of education, investing in yourself in this industry, and not just doing what everyone else is doing will put you a cut above everyone else. You will stand out amongst the crowd when you have invested in your education and learned something that is initially kind of hard. Like there's a little bit of a learning curve. Mike always likes to say it's simple, it's not easy. And those first few days of just like learning how to manipulate the paste and control it and all of that is a little bit of a curve. But once you get it, it's like, I mean, you can just do it in your sleep. It's easy. I always say Netflix and sugar. Grab your sugar ball and you just keep working it and learn how to control it on your fingertips. Um, I always like to mention that I really stand by the standard of education that we have here at Keiko. One of my biggest pet peeves is kind of this certification mill that our industry has acquired, where you pay a company $300 or $500 or whatever, and they send you a piece of paper and they're like, congratulations, you can do this skill now. But then you get in the treatment room and you're like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. Or can I do this on this skin type? Is this safe? Is it effective for this? And then you've never had the opportunity to even troubleshoot those things that do come up. So um, we are big on providing the resources and the service and the time investment to make sure that you're proficient in the skill. And I cannot overstate that. Just making sure that you are completely confident and ready for the service that you'll provide. We do hear, it does take a little longer to get certified. It's not going to be just a 16-hour service process. You're not just going to do 2 days in the treatment room and be done. It is going to take some investment and some practice, but I can guarantee you on the other side of it is a career that is incredibly lucrative and incredibly rewarding. You can serve so many clients that you cannot serve in other methods of hair removal. So
I saw Shauna made a comment. It's worth the sweat, tears, and something else that would pop up in it.
Worth all the time, sweat, and tears. Yeah.
Right.
yes. It certainly is. We'll chat a little bit about our back bar and our paste, and then get into some of our other products. This is our natural sugar paste. It is truly just sugar, water, and lemon. Like I said, it's non-GMO sugar and purified spring water. We have 4 different consistencies, and when you are learning sugaring, you kind of learn how those consistencies play into your treatment and how you're choosing each paste, whether you're going with a hard paste or a soft paste or somewhere in between. It seems like a lot to know, but it's a little bit of chemistry that you can figure out pretty quickly. What makes our paste different? I mean, you can see in that last slide, it's super clear, and it is developed to accept heat and humidity without breaking down. We never allow our paste to caramelize, which means it has a dry finish. It's not really sticky and tacky, and it's very pliable. So that pliability and that lack of stickiness makes it less painful for the client, and it improves comfortability. And the pliability increases your profit margin as well. If you don't have to use a large ball of paste, or if you can reduce the size of the ball that you're using by 25 to 30% or whatever that is on a body area, that is in turn an increase in your margins. So we love our paste. We believe in our paste. And like I said, my clients were automatically like, what are you doing differently? This is so much less painful. And we've heard that again and again at trade shows for people that have switched to Keiko.
It's great size though. I mean, it's easy, but it's a lot. What does how much?
35 ounces.
35?
Mm-hmm.
And we're about how many? I mean, obviously it depends on the body and parts and everything that you're doing, but that seems like it's a good investment.
Yeah, so it's about 25 Brazilians once you're proficient. Obviously, when you're getting started and you're practicing, you're going to use a little more paste than you need, just because you're still kind of working out what that looks like for you. But the other thing that will improve those margins is when you're doing like underarms and a Brazilian, you're doing both with the same ball. You're just doing the underarms first, and then you're doing the Brazilian. Easy. If you're doing a lip and a chin, or an eyebrow and a lip, you're combining those services. We're only using one ball of paste for both services. So that's always good to keep in mind too, that we just couple things and stretch our margin a little bit.
Yeah.
This is our back bar collection. And this is everything that you need for prep and post on a very on a basic scale. So we have our cleanser, and let me switch the slides so we can go together. It is a saponified coconut oil, shea and olive oil with aloe vera and jojoba. So it cleanses without over drying. We know jojoba mimics sebum. And the point was really to not strip the skin and make sure we are supporting particularly sensitive or reactive skin. So it also smells like a lovely coconut, and then has vitamin E and antioxidants as well. So kind of a powerhouse little cleanser that keeps the skin hydrated while cleansing. I'm always very honest and full disclosure. If you have a super oily client, this is not going to be the best option for you. And I always tell people we use Quiet Wash. If I've got an oily girl and I'm trying to do a facial sugaring or a brow sugaring or something like that, Hale & Hush's Quiet Wash is hands down my pick. They're the sensitive skin specialists, so it goes right hand in hand with what we're doing, and is effective for that purpose. So keep that on your back.
MedSpa Distributors too.
Yeah. Our hydrosol is a true cucumber hydrosol. It also has aloe, witch hazel, and willow bark. And this product was originally designed for post-sugaring to calm the skin and kind of reduce redness and that sort of thing. But I started using it years ago as pre-sugaring, as kind of my inspection step. You know, when you're doing a Brazilian, you've got a client laying there, they have a little towel on them. You need to see what you're working with before you decide, you know, if you're waxing, whether you need to trim, what kind of wax you're going to use, all of those things. And it can be kind of strange to just be like, what you doing under there? You know, like you want to do something that makes it look like you've got a mission. So I always use my hydrosol as my little inspection step. I lift up the towel, I spritz them with hydrosol. It gives them a little bump of moisture. And it's very aromatic. It smells like fresh cucumber. So it feels physically good. It helps you hydrate that skin without oil so you can do a better job. Makes it a little less painful for them, and also gives them just a little boost. They're like, oh, what is that? It smells so good. It's cucumber hydrosol. So love that little product. Our professional powder. It is baking soda, sodium bicarb, arrowroot, and sweet orange oil. We use the sweet orange oil just to mask some of those treatment room smells that we don't love to smell. It's a nice little aromatic for that. And then we always like to point out that our powder is non-altering to our paste. You will find that sometimes when you mix certain powders with your sugar paste, you end up with like a slime. If anybody has kids and they've made slime, that like weird goopy consistency it makes, it can do that to your paste and then it doesn't function. So we want to avoid wasting our dollars in our sugar paste by using a powder that works with it. And this is our lotion. Was originally designed with our eczema and psoriasis clients in mind. It's very gentle. There's no fragrance at all. Free from colors, dyes, perfumes, parabens, gluten, dairy, sulfates, phthalates, and talc. It's also rich in antioxidants and has multiple moisturizing ingredients. I always like to point out the go-to cola. I feel like that's the star ingredient, Centella Asiatica, if you're more familiar with it that way. But it supports the barrier and retains moisture, and then also reduces redness and inflammation. So it's a great product for post-sugaring. And if you have someone that's super sensitive and reactive, you can kind of bet on this as being a safe fit for them. From here, we'll go into our retail products. We have a number of exfoliants in our line, and we start with the body brush. We love a dry brush. I'm sure y'all already know all about dry brushes, but just basically to exfoliate promote circulation and support lymphatic drainage, literally just sweeping away dead skin cells. We do retail them, but they're also invaluable in the treatment room. If you are about to sugar someone's legs and you get like what is probably 85% of the clients, and that may be generous, that don't actually do their home care, a body brush is a great option to just be able to quickly dry brush their legs. And then you can throw it in some barbicide and you have a better grip on getting a full extraction. So we love to have those in the treatment room as well as on our retail shelves. Our sugar scrub is coconut oil and cane sugar are the star ingredients there. Everybody loves a sugar scrub. And I think most people don't know. They grab big globs of sugar scrub and they're trying to get this massive, I don't know, just like very aggressive feeling scrub happening to exfoliate. But we always remind our clients that sugar, as it melts, becomes an alpha hydroxy acid, which is an exfoliant, right? So you don't need to use handfuls and handfuls of sugar scrub. You just need like a tablespoon and then let it melt on the skin and work for you. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a workout in the shower. It doesn't. Our loofah bar, this is really has become a star in Hawaii. Like our Hawaiian accounts buy the majority of these. They're just kind of picking up in the States a little bit, but Hawaii loves a loofah bar. Vitamin E, natural loofah, and then hibiscus and daisy are our big players here. Hibiscus and daisy lighten and brighten. So if you have a client who's struggling with ingrowns as well as hyperpigmentation and just kind of dull, dry skin, this is a great option for them. It smells really great. It has kind of a tropical scent to it. So that's a good one if you have a client that can handle that sort of aggressive exfoliation of a loofah. This is my favorite thing on the planet.
Same.
Our Aloha serum smells like a vacation. Like wherever that is, take me there. It's so delicious. And it has neem oil, which we know supports the skin barrier, and jojoba, which mimics sebum. So we're getting a good penetrating hydration there, but also has meadowfoam and calendula to reduce redness and irritation. And then what I think is the really just the kicker here is bromelain. Like we were just talking about all these clients who don't do their home care. We're supposed to be the 20%, they're supposed to be the 80%. But oftentimes they're like 0% and maybe even like negative 0.5% because they drank and didn't drink their water afterward, you know? So we love Aloha Serum because I feel like a lot of people are not even, you cannot recommend them a routine. They're not here for a routine. You have your clients who will do 10 steps and then ones that are not. So this is our, if your client will just do one thing, this will serve them. That bromelain is the enzymatic exfoliant. It's very mild, it's very gentle, but it gets the job done. And then you also have the other ingredients that are hydrating them. So you're getting the exfoliation, you're getting the hydration that helps them do a little more of that 80%. And this retails just super well. It runs $31.99 MSRP, so it's affordable, it lasts forever, and it's very effective. So this is really the star of our show. This also comes in a back bar size, which you probably saw a few slides back. So you have it for both back bar and retail.